Yes, Mr. Speaker. I'm very pleased to yield to one of the key partners in working through this legislation, the chairman of the Middle East and South Asia Subcommittee, the gentleman from New York, the vice chair of the committee, Mr. Ackerman.
How much time is yielded?
4 minutes.
Gentleman from New York is recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak on the resolution before the House. I want to commend the chairman for his strong efforts, particularly on the bill as we adopted it in the House in July. The bill before us today had to satisfy other parties and is, in my view, a lesser product for it. The fundamental question this legislation attempts to answer is, how can we best ensure the full cooperation of the government and the people of Pakistan in our struggle against al-Qaeda, the Taliban, and other sources of violence, terror, and regional instability? In the text authored by Chairman Berman, the answer to this question was to propose a long-term partnership, one in which both sides had both interests and responsibilities, a partnership of equals who were expected to constantly and appropriately judge whether or not the relationship was succeeding. The compromise bill before us today, however, is not a blueprint for a partnership. It is a recipe for disappointment followed by disillusionment. Pakistan is too big and too complex to be a proper subject for the Senate's preferred Pygmalion-like approach. Even if Pakistanis sought such a relationship, which they very definitely do not, Pakistan is simply beyond our shaping. Pakistan's interests and our own are not very closely aligned. We see India as a major ally. They see India as unalterably rapacious and inherently dangerous. We see the Afghan Taliban as wicked, oppressive, and violent, as a group intent on returning Afghanistan to primitive theocratic darkness. They see it as a useful insurance policy. We see Pakistan's ongoing relationship with radical Islamic terrorist groups as utterly illegitimate. They see these groups as both fundamentally just and as essential leverage. They see it as an unwarranted foreign imposition and potentially a violation of their rights. And the list of contradictions could go on across a range of subjects, from madrasas to arms sales, from state enterprises of corruption to feudal land reform. And setting aside the differences we have with the government of Pakistan, I think we should all be very circumspect about the ability of our own government to carefully spend $1.5 billion a year in Pakistan. The history of our assistance programs with Pakistan does not inspire confidence in either the rectitude of our partners or our own ability to spend the taxpayers' money effectively. The response to such concerns is predictable. Shall we do nothing? No, of course not. Pakistan is a country we can ignore only at our own peril. Only a fool could pretend that what happens there is not and will not become our concern. This bad neighborhood will definitely come to visit us if we choose not to visit it. But our success will depend chiefly on reforms taken in Pakistan by Pakistanis. I see little in the bill to provide any assurance that such changes are on the way. I fear again we're choosing to be Pakistan's patron rather than its partner. In the end, Pakistan will absorb what we offer and remain the same Pakistan. And worst of all, they will claim once again that we have failed them. But we have no choice but to pass this bill.